for the last 10 years where I've talked about this as the presidential term. The 47th presidential term was going to be the Hoover administration blame game. Now, the truth is we're having this conversation now. It's happening before the actual events. But what we know is by 2026 and by 2027, and the only thing that's going to drive that is whether or not foreign governments dump their treasury holdings. That's the only thing that's going to determine the time. But between 2026 and 2027, the Social Security Trust Fund is going to dip below zero, and that means that 18% of our economy is insolvent. In the film you referenced in 2015, Future Dreaming, I actually have a conversation about this. And in American Revolution, another film I shot in 2016, I actually made an abundant reference. 10 minutes of that film is dedicated to this very topic. And I said that what would happen, and I even said then it would be President Trump who would be the president that we would paint into this corner. The fact of the matter is, we know that this was a setup so that we actually can have a crash of an economy, blame the current administration for the problems that it did not create, and then go forward with everybody running to the government that just stole from itself and say, save us. Here's the point. The point is, these are the criminals who set up this entire scheme. And the public needs to know, your viewers and listeners need to know, that we cannot go to the psychopaths that architected this program and ask them to solve the problem. This problem must be solved by individuals taking action now to make sure that their economic interests are actually insulated from what is ultimately a treasury collapse and what is ultimately a Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid collapse. And that is action we can take now that we don't have to wait for a crisis to take. And what does that mean? That means invest locally. That means look at the minerals that you guys have talked about. It means make sure that you have an infrastructure where your community is robust. And
Decentralized now.